evaluation contest! This is going to be fun. We're all going to be like great big huge lambs, happy to get home. We're going to show the excitement. We are Toastmasters. Mr. Lamont, thank you so very much for what you've done for us. Sheffield last night, he was telling us that we need to be like puppies and show enthusiasm and excitement, and we're going to do it because we are Toastmasters. How many people are going to be at the spring conference? Yay! And how many people are going to bring someone with them to the spring conference? Yay! How many people are going to go to the spring conference and beat that damn Crossroads out of the traveling trophy? Yay! That's what it's supposed to be about. Well, we're going to have a great time tonight. I know that's true. I've had a wonderful conference. There she is. A big round of applause for our conference. One day when you are conference chair, you will finally understand what they mean when they say sleep the sleep of the dead, because that's what she's going to do starting tomorrow. In order to make the evaluation contest happen, we have planned all details so meticulously that it would boggle your mind. But the person who loves details more than me is our very own Mr. Quality himself, distinguished Toastmaster, Mark Latta. Yo!
I promised myself I wouldn't cry. Thank you, Jamie, for the hug and for announcing me. I can only hope I can live up to the hype that you've set before me. 4 more beers. 4. Okay. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters. Welcome guests, honored dignitaries. We have some people here, before I start the contest, who deserve some special recognition. These are leaders, current and past, and I'd like you to stand up when I call your name. First, we have past International Director, Joan Johansson. Where are you? We've got our own District 19 Governor, Kelly Nielsen. She's the eye candy of the trio. We've got our Lieutenant Governor of Education and Training, Ann Chapman. She's the brains. We've got our Division Governors, Joan Johansson, Paul Wood, Eric Johnson, and Kristen Bruckman. I like the wave. You guys got the wave of standing. Very nice. Past district governors: Leanne Blankenberger, Brian Stone, Reginald Williams, around there he is, okay. Jackie Johansson, there you are. Joan Johansson. Go! Tom Stockerbrand, Tom, are you around? There you are. Good. We have in this room District 19 Public Relations Officer Don Wadley. Give it up for Don. We've got District 19 Secretary Shannon Williams. Where are you, Shannon? Oh. District 19 Treasurer Julie Ryder. Are you around, Julie? Do we have any other district officers that I have not called? Area governors, why don't you stand up? There you go. And by the way, area governors, if you have not gotten in your area governor visit forms, there's still time, November 30th. The first contest that we have is the evaluation contest. Let me explain the procedure. I like how my script says, we'll have a guest speaker, yada, yada, yada. So we will have a guest speaker, a test speaker, come up That person will give a speech, and then we'll do an interview session. Meanwhile, we'll take all those contestants out of the room. They'll have 5 minutes to work on their notes. Then the Sergeant-at-Arms, is that you, Dwayne, for this one? Will take your notes, all but the first speaker, bring the first speaker back in. Everybody else stays out there in the hallway until you're called. That's basically how it works. Yada, yada, yada. Now let's get to our Chief Judge, Michael Anderson, who will explain some of the rules. Please help me welcome Chief Judge Michael Anderson.
Thank you, Mr. Contest Chair. Most welcome guests, honored dignitaries, and fellow Toastmasters, I confirm that we have the proper judging representation and that the contest officials and contestants have been briefed on their job duties and contest procedures. Now would the Chief Timer please review the timing procedures and have a final check of the timing lights.
Everybody knows I hate these things. Thank you, Chief Judge. For the evaluation contest, the length of the competitor's response shall be 2 to 3 minutes. The green light shall be displayed at 2 minutes. The yellow light displayed at 2 minutes 30 seconds. The red light will be displayed at 3 minutes. The contestant is disqualified if the response exceeds 3 minutes 30 seconds. If there's a technical failure of the lights, the assistant timer, my gorgeous assistant timer, will, hey, I gotta get her in there somewhere, will display the green, yellow, and red cards. Mr. Chief Judge.
Thank you, Madam Chief Timer. There will be 1 minute of silence between the speakers so judges can mark their ballots. These contestants have put a lot of work into their performances here today, so please let's respect them. Please silence your cell phones and any other noise-making devices you might have. Please maintain quiet during the 1 minute moment of silence, by definition. If you need to leave the auditorium or the room, please do so only during that 1 minute period of judging between speeches. And of course, no photography during the speeches so we don't distract the contestants. Protests regarding eligibility and originality may be only made by judges and contestants and must be reported either to the contest chair or myself as Chief Judge. Mr. Contest Chair.
We'll hug later. Any questions before we begin the contest? Well, we're getting to that point. Our speaking order is right here. There we go. First evaluator will be Michelle Holmes, M-I-C-H-E-L-L-E, Holmes, H-O-L-M-E-S. Our second evaluator will be Kyoto Kimura, K-A-Y-O-K-O-K-I-M-U-R-A.
Spell that last name again.
K-I-M-U-R-A. Good? Yeah, there's a misprint in your flyer. It's K-A-Y. Third evaluator will be Tamara Binder, T-A-M-R-A-B-I-N-D-E-R. B-I-N-D-E-R. Number 4 evaluator will be Corey May, K-O-R-Y-M-A-Y. Number 5 evaluator will be Jim Harris, J-I-M-H-A-R-R-I-S. Good. I'll repeat their names. Michelle Holmes will be evaluator number 1. Kyoko Kimura will be evaluator number 2. Sorry, Kyoko Kimura. Tamara Binder will be evaluator number 3. Corey May, evaluator number 4. And Jim Harris, evaluator number 5. I tell you what, I look at this crowd. You are a groovy crowd. Now we'll begin. Please help me welcome Lisa Turner with Anything Worth Having is Worth Working For. Anything Worth Having is Worth Working For, Lisa Turner.
Talking to my kids, their friends, the young people today, and some not so young, it seems that this is not an attitude that they have. There seems to be a sense of entitlement. Like life should be like Burger King and all the opportunities are made their way. I know that the commercials push this. J.G. Wentworth does a wonderful job of having that tune in our head. It's my life, it's my money, and I want it now. And of course, there's thousands of get-rich-quick schemes around. But are we really that lazy? Are we really that afraid of working? Or are we afraid of failing? What is the problem? I know I learned early on, and I'm sure that you did too. If it's worth having, it's worth working for. Let's imagine a company, maybe one that has cleaning products. What would we want to create? The perfect cleaning solution, the perfect product. What would we give up? After solution 125 didn't work? Maybe 200, 300? Would the magic number be 408? If Morris Ruff had done that, 409 would not exist. Maybe cleaning's not your thing. Perhaps a restaurant. If the restaurant failed, would you then say, oh, I'm done? What about the second time? The third time? Maybe even the fourth? How many times would you file bankruptcy? If Samuel Truett Gaffney had given up, we wouldn't have Chick-fil-A. And I know I love Chick-fil-A. We don't have to look that far, though. We can look at our own personal examples. I know I have a grandmother. My grandmother, Carolyn. She's Grandma Carolyn. She lives in North Carolina. She's all cozy in her, pays for her home, buys her cars cash, but she worked hard to get there. She raised 3 children. She has been a sales agent for North Carolina Mutual for some 30-odd years. She then, after retiring, said she wanted to go back and become a certified nursing assistant because in her mind, she needed just some spending change. And she did. 77, she still works 3 days a month. My grandfather has passed on when he only had a 4th grade education. He worked for 42 years as a painter at the shipyard and put 3 kids through college. My mom, after she raised her kids, she turned 50 and said, you know what? I'm going back to school. She became a licensed practical nurse. My dad probably had one of the toughest jobs of all. Lost his job in the middle of his career, in his 40s, got laid off, had to start all over. Many of us would have been like, what? He took a $6 an hour job as a stocker. He turned $6 into 6 figures. Became a career. 18 years later, he's the store manager of the top-selling Walmart in Atlanta.
Whoa.
He doesn't take it for granted. We went to lunch with him a few years ago. Saw him over spring break. We went to talk to him and took him out We went to lunch and he said he had to go back to the store because of course he's always working. And he went back and he was so upset because there were shopping carts all around the parking lot. You've been to Walmart, you know those carts. And he wanted them up. He didn't call and fuss at someone to get them done. He, as the store manager, was out pushing the carts, getting them where they needed to be. Anything worth having is worth working for. Those are the examples that I look at. The examples that I have to draw on to when I was graduating from college with my first daughter as a single parent, and then getting my master's. The help, the hard work that they went through, that's what propels my husband and I when we're moving forward in our lives and raising our children, and hoping that they will see and understand that with our examples and those that we continue to tell them the stories about, anything worth having is worth working for.
All the contestants leave the room with Dwayne. All of them. No, he's got
Okay.
Come on, please help me welcome Lisa Turner. So Lisa, you're here representing your club. What club would that be?
The Quad City Bank and Trust.
Bam! Look at her go. Lisa, you came here. Did you come by yourself or?
No, I brought my whole fan club. Groupies.
So it looks like we have 4 back there.
Yes, my husband, and then our oldest daughter Alana, our son Elijah, Micaiah, and then the boss Danielle, and my husband Dante is home.
I was talking to Dante. He said you were the boss. So.
She runs.
So with all that going on, when did you find time to write your speech? I'm just checking.
At work.
At work. Any speech worth writing is worth writing at work. Nice. Good. So you talked in your speech a little bit about your experience. You had your bachelor's and you've gone on to graduate school?
Yes.
In?
My business administration for MBA.
All right, nice.
Thank you.
That's very good. And you work at a bank?
Yes, I work for the holding company of the bank,
Okay.
which is QCR Holdings. They have Quad City Bank and Trust. They also have Cedar Rapids Bank and Trust and Rockford Bank and Trust. And I am a risk project manager.
Okay.
It's really enlightening and just life-saving.
What kind of risk project manager, what does a risk project manager do?
Dodd-Frank.
Huh?
Dodd-Frank.
Oh, Dodd-Frank. All right, great. So your kids are in school. What do you like most about being a mom? Or what do you like least about being a mom? I'm open to either.
Even though they use them for evil sometimes, their personalities, having 4 and then 2 of each, you really get to see the different personalities amongst them. I like their activities, even though they keep me running in the car all the time. We have volleyball and basketball and dance and guitar and piano. Getting them around to all those different places is fun, which is probably the least also is running them around. but I do enjoy it.
It's pretty good?
Yeah.
Not too bad? All right, good, good. You're off the hook for another week, kids. I was like, you want to keep them? She's like, yeah, why not? So as a risk, Dodd-Frank, are you involved politically as well? You don't have to go deep into it or anything like that? Or?
We more so have to do risk and compliance, and so we're more so the implementation of everything. So we have to keep on top of all the regulations and making sure that each area that's impacted in the bank is in compliance, and that we have, if there's software that needs to be done or implemented or anything, we have that done.
Okay, good. So you talked a lot about your family during your speech. Why this speech? What drove this?
Well, topic 2, or speech 2 in the book is discussing getting your, just having maybe a good quote or something to use. And I always use that quote. And so I thought about, well, what examples could I put with it? And my family automatically came up because that's who I usually look to. So it made it easy to write.
Oh, really? They're chiming in, sitting around the table all...
Yeah.
Did you think about it?
You probably don't even know what I'm talking about.
No, exactly. You went at work. How could you... that'd be kind of awkward to have everybody sitting around your desk at work being like, and Mom, I got another idea. Think about that one. That's pretty sweet. So we talked about that, and it's one of your favorite quotes. Now, you said the speech number 2, you're on speech...
They told me what counted speech 3.
This would count as speech 3. Wow. Came up here, dominated the stage, rocking it the whole way, speech 3. Yeah. You guys remember speech 3? You were up on stage and, telling everybody. And you're like, yeah, hold on, let me tell you something. Let me break it down for you. But no, you did a nice job. I was really impressed. And a lot of humor in it. Do you do a lot of humor in your speeches? Or?
I have 4 kids, yeah. I'll laugh my way.
Keep you ready for material
Yeah.
and all that other good stuff? Oh, I
They usually don't. They frown upon drunk mothers, so
Oh, do
you
they?
have to laugh. Yeah.
Yeah. On that note, you're welcome to hang around the hospitality suite. Like 85 drunk Toastmasters walking to a bar. Anyhow, well, it's been really great having you here. Thank you so much for your speech.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming here. I got the 1-minute warning about 2 minutes ago, so I think we're about ready to start. Now we're ready for the contestants. Contestant number 1. Okay. I've got plenty of nothing, nothing's plenty for me.
Don't count us.
All right, Michelle Holmes. Michelle Holmes, contestant number 1.
Mr. Contest Chair, honored dignitaries, fellow Toastmasters, guests, and Lisa. Absolutely loved your speech today, Lisa. The purpose of it was extremely clear. We all heard the title. Anything worth having is worth working hard for. I love the message. You were very confident. You didn't use the lectern, you came out here and talk to all of us to deliver your message. Your eye contact was very good as well. I saw you look around the entire room. I thought it was really interesting how you used personal stories to back up that message. You went not only through big companies that we all knew, but you brought it to you in your personal family, starting with your grandparents and moving down to your father. I would like to challenge you to use silence. It's kind of hard to stand up here, look at all of you, and have silence. But pausing between each one of those different examples gives your audience that extra second to let that message sink in. To know what your grandmother and grandfather accomplished that was so wonderful before moving on to that vitally important move your dad made from $6 to $6 million. Fabulous. You told us your purpose at the beginning, in the middle, and at the end. But I'd like to challenge you to not only give us that message and that purpose, but challenge us to use it. The end of your speech could be a huge call for how we can take a lesson from you and your father, your mother, your grandparents, and all of those other people in the world who have used that purpose to model their lives. I absolutely love the message. And I really challenge you to keep working on that message. So it's definitely not only worth having, it's worth giving. Mr. Contest Chair.
Timers, may we have 1 minute on the clock. Contestant number 2, Kayoko Kimura. Kayoko Kimura, contestant number 2.
Thank you, Mr. Contest Chair, honorable judges, fellow members, especially Lisa. Thank you very much for giving us wonderful speech. Your speech was wonderful because you had a great message. All good speeches have a great message, and you constructed your speech from the beginning to the end, reach to the climax. Your message was, if anything having is worth working for. So any kinds of jobs are very important and worth doing. You showed us examples, starting from McDonald's, cleaning solution, and about the job of grandmother and grandfather, and to reach the top. $6 per hour job reached 6 figures. It was very convincing. You selected your examples very carefully from maybe the lower point to the high point. You started telling the story by the title and the great supporting materials. You are very good at storytelling, and you also had subtle humor. I have some suggestions to improve. You had a great message, but I wondered, just to tell the title at the beginning, it was not really catchy. Maybe you could have asked questions. Do you think any kinds of jobs are worth doing, or something like that? Then catch attention, then you explain using various examples you already gave. And at the end, you can finish with the very strong words that if anything having is worth doing, something more dramatic way. You are very good storytelling, and I felt sincerity, but your voice was kind of soft. It helps. So it really showed us your sincerity. But I thought it is better to have some kind of vocal variety, sometimes loud, sometimes the small, and also if you could have used the body language, it may be better. But thank you for giving us a great message. Mr. Contest Judge.
Timers, may we have 1 minute of silence? Nice. Contestant number 3, Tamara Binder. Tamara Binder, contestant number 3.
Fellow Toastmasters, Mr. Contest Chair, honored guests, and Lisa. Where are you, Lisa? Thank you so much for a brilliant speech. I'm going to say you're an ace. An ace starting with A because you got our attention. C, because you connected with us. And E, for examples, excellent examples to support your premise. First of all, you started with humor, and that's how you got our attention. You picked out a couple of things about the opportunities, and you played on the Burger King theme. You gotta have it your way. How young people want to have every opportunity delivered in their lap their way. Cracked me up. Made me realize how old I'm getting. But actually, and you kept our attention with a similar humor. The Chick-fil-A, oh, I love Chick-fil-A. Yes, you kept our attention with humor. Excellent job. So I'll give you an A for attention grabbing. C, your connection. You had great material because we connect with audiences in 2 ways. First, intellectually. We have to have good material organized in an intellectual fashion. So nice organization. The second way is we connect emotionally. And you connected with us on that emotional level by telling us about your family. You gave us an example of your grandmother who is still working in her 70s. Then you talked about your father who took a $6 an hour job and made it into a 6-figure job. Wow, that was amazing. You impressed us with your stories. And your examples supported your premise. You talked about the gentleman from Chick-fil-A, and I didn't know his name prior to this, but you asked, how many times would you file bankruptcy? And if Samuel Pruitt wouldn't have kept going after he had to file bankruptcy, we wouldn't have Chick-fil-A. So you talked about and gave us examples to support your premise of your theme. Excellent job. I give you an ace for attention, for connection, and examples. But we're Toastmasters, right? And we're here to grow and learn. So if I could give you anything, was to build a little more color into your stories. Because stories, we tell stories because people are more visual than they are auditory. So if you can give a little more color in your stories and let the audience create an image in their mind, they're going to remember you. If you're talking about your father, you can say he's a very tall man. He was wearing a gray suit when he was pushing those silver baskets. That will help create that image. If you just give enough detail, then we create that own image by ourselves. But overall, I say you're an ace. You know how to grab the attention, you know how to connect, and you know how to support your premise with excellent examples. Mr. Toastmaster.
May we have 1 minute on the clock, please? Contestant number 4, Corey May. Corey May, contestant number 4.
Honored guests, fellow Toastmasters, and especially Lisa. Thank you. You sent us a distress signal to today's wayward youth, sending us a message of hope and promise in hard work. Thank you. I'd like to give you a bit of an SOS. I'd like to highlight your strengths. I'd like to highlight your opportunities and show you some solutions. Strengths. Wow, there were many. Humor. Burger King. I want it my way. Second, Formula 409. We didn't stop at 408. Very funny things. They allowed you to connect with all of us. Another strength, your message. Entitlement? No, that's not the answer. Perseverance and hard work gives us successes. Very strong message. Finally, again, your structure. It worked very, very well. Thank you for those strengths, and I want you to know that. I want to encourage those strengths. Hang on to those. They will serve you well in the future. Your opportunities. I'd like to edify your opportunities here. You've got a wonderful speaking voice. Use it. Give me some highs and some lows. Give me some volume. You've got great points. Magnify, amplify those great points with vocal variety. Take me on that journey. Gestures. Making a steeple. This may be a church message, but you can open it up and let us all in. Come on, embrace us. Embrace us. We want to go with you. We believe in you. You've hooked us with your message. Take us on that journey and make sure that we're not lost anymore. Finally, in terms of opportunities, I would ask that perhaps you trim 1 or 2 of those stories so that we can get to the message of how this message has affected you. Cut back a little bit on the first 2 stories because I want to hear about your success. You're personifying this success. You are the face of this message. Let me hear about how your hard work has affected your beautiful children, how it's affected the rest of your family. And when we have that, it makes us want to do exactly what we've been told. It's not do as I say, it's do as I do because you've told us how we've gotten there. I've told you your solutions over here as well. Again, vary your voice. You can animate, use some gestures, take up the stage, fill this up with your passion. You've shown us that. We want to hear about your success. And this SOS is to encourage you to get back up and do this again because people need to hear you. Mr. Contest Chair.
May we have 1 moment of silence? Contestant number 5, Jim Harris. Jim Harris, contestant number 5.
Thank you, Mr. Contest Chair, fellow Toastmasters, honored dignitaries, welcome guests, and most especially Lisa. First of all, thank you very much for being the test speaker for our contest today. I thought that your speech was very inspirational and very positive, and I enjoyed it. I wanted to emphasize 3 things that I really enjoyed about the content and delivery of your speech. First off was pace. I have a hard time with pace because I naturally talk way too fast. So it makes a hard time for people to actually understand what I'm saying. It also leads me to fumble over my words a lot. But pace is not just about slow versus fast. It's also about an excellent use of pauses, which you did very well throughout your speech, especially when you were giving us the punchlines in terms of, well, if that guy had stopped after 408 attempts, which gave us the audience the time to catch up and say, oh, maybe that's Formula 409. Oh, I know what's coming next. Or even for those of us who didn't know the gentleman who started Chick-fil-A, again, you paused to let us think of, okay, where's this going? Oh, it's the Chick-fil-A story. So again, pace there in terms of an effective use of pauses, and especially on like the dramatic aspects, like your father going from a $6 an hour stock boy job to a 6-figure salary. So you did a great pause in between $6 to 6 figures to really emphasize that point. The other thing I really appreciated about your speech was you had a very confident presence on stage. You didn't look at notes all that often, so you were able to keep your head up, making very good eye contact with the audience. So we really felt that you were connecting to us. A particular speech like this, where you're delivering a life lesson to us, sometimes can have the danger of feeling like you're preaching to us, but I didn't hear any of that at all. I felt a very down-to-earth, very positive message that we could use without feeling like you were preaching to us. So I thought that was fantastic. And the third thing that I really enjoyed was your use of humor, especially at the beginning, saying that young people seem to think life today is like Burger King, that they can have it their way. And you used lots of excellent points throughout your speech. And again, when you have a speech that's intended to teach a life lesson, where you had a lot of serious points, a lot of great information to share, being able to mix in that humor really helps balance it out and really helps make those dramatic points even more dramatic because of the humor that you used. The only thing that I noticed that I would have suggested for improvement is you left me wanting more. I was actually kind of surprised when your speech ended, when you got to your children. I mean, you were telling this wonderful, multi-generational success story from your grandparents to your parents to you and your husband and now your children. I was kind of hoping that maybe we got maybe a little bit about your children and maybe what they learned from you and your husband and from your parents and their grandparents. So maybe a little bit more at the end to help emphasize that point. Because you set it up so well in the beginning with, you know, anything that is worth having is worth working for. And you sort of set us up with that generational gap at the beginning with the Burger King joke. So I was kind of expecting maybe some stories about how your kids have taken those life lessons to heart from the excellent examples that you and your entire, again, multi-generational success story of your family has shown for them. So that's the only thing that I had in terms of recommended improvements. Overall, I thought your speech was fantastic. Thank you very much, Mr. Contest Chair.
Timer. May we have 1 minute on the clock? Please complete your ballots and hold them up for our ballot counters to collect. Well, I try to figure out what I did with the microphone. It did not work. This is what Traditionally, we would have the interview portion, but since we've got so much overlap between the contestants on the evaluation side and on the humorous speech side, we're going to do them all during the humorous speech. So look forward to that. I know I am. Why don't we take 5 minutes? This will wrap up.
Spectacular. Wasn't that wonderful? How many of you have ever been brave enough to sit in a room and have 5 evaluators beat the snot out of you? And every one of those hands has attended the Crossroads meeting, I do fear. This is one of the things that we do at our Crossroads meeting is we take one person and the whole group jumps up and beats on them until they submit. Okay, I'll never give a speech again. It's lots of fun, and we do it with great amount of love. And I like that we're mutually supportive. Isn't that the words that was quoted, Danny? Yes, totally. Mutually supportive. And that's what we do here in Toastmasters. But the other thing we do is drink. No, wait. Later. We have fun. I have never attended a Toastmaster event. I don't care what it was. I went to a Toastmasters funeral and we laughed. And if Ken had been with us, he would have laughed with us. It doesn't matter. That's what we do. So, how many of you wrapped ace bandages around your waist so your sides wouldn't split? It's the Humoris Speach contest. I always tell people this is one of my 4 favorite contests that Toastmasters does. And it's hilarious. We're going to have a great time. We have great contestants. All the details have been taken care of. All the details except this one. And that is our own, very own Lieutenant Governor, distinguished Toastmaster, brand new distinguished Toastmaster, Ann Chapman.
Thank you, Jamie. Welcome back, everyone. I hope everyone can hear me. Hey, don't want to use a mic because I'm not used to it. I have to learn. We're all learning in Toastmasters, so I will learn. But let's see. Earlier this afternoon, Mark recognized some dignitaries in our audience. We have other people to recognize. I know that we have some Toastmaster guests here. Will you please stand up and receive your applause? For you, so we'll be with you shortly. The differences between the evaluation contest and the humorous speech contest are relatively few, but one of them is that all the contestants may stay in the room. That's good. All right. And then our chief judge will explain some of the other differences, including timing rules and all that kind of thing. So please welcome back our chief judge, Michael Anderson.
She doesn't want to use a microphone, neither do I. Thank you, Madam Contest Chair. Most welcome guests, honored dignitaries, and fellow Toastmasters. If you'll forgive the redundancy, I again confirm that we have proper judging representation and that the contest officials and contestants are still briefed on their job duties and contest procedures. Now would the Chief Timer please review the timing procedures and have a final check of the timing lights.
Thank you, Chief Judge. The length of a humorous speech shall be 5 to 7 minutes. The green light will be displayed at 5 minutes. The yellow light will be displayed at 6 minutes. The red light will be displayed at 7 minutes. The contestant is disqualified if the speech exceeds 7 minutes 30 seconds. If there is a technical failure of the lights, the assistant timer will display green, yellow, and red cards. Mr. Chief Judge.
Thank you, Chief Timer. will be 1 minute of silence between the speakers so the judges can mark their ballots. Again, please respect our contestants and judges in their work and their concentration. Please silence cell phones and any other noise-making devices. Please maintain quiet during the 1 minute during the speaking and the judging periods. And of course, refrain from using photography while the contestants are speaking. If you do need to leave the auditorium, please do so only during the 1 minute timing period. Protests regarding eligibility or originality may be made only by judges or contestants, and they must be reported either to, hopefully not, must be reported either to the contest chair or to myself as chief judge. Madam Contest Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chief Judge. The contestants drew their draw order earlier, so contestant number 1 is Vilma Bergstrom. That's V-I-L-M-A. Bergstrom, B-E-R-G-S-T-R-O-M. Contestant 2 is Ken Farrar, K-E-N, Farrar, F-A-R-R-A-R. Contestant 3, Michelle Holmes, M-I-C-H-E-L-L-E, Holmes, H-O-L-M-E-S. Contestant 4, Jim Harris, J-I-M-H-A-R-R-I-S. Contestant 5, Corey May, K-O-R-Y-M-A-Y. Everybody need those repeated. We shall begin our contest. Contestant number 1, Vilma Bergstrom. It doesn't hurt to ask, right? It doesn't hurt to ask, right? Vilma Bergstrom.
Contest chair, fellow Toastmasters and guests. 6 weeks ago, I had the greatest thrill of my life. I received an email back from Johnstone! Wait, this is not my corporate club. Do you know who I'm talking about? Johnstone! No? He is the CEO of Wells Fargo. For those of us who work there, he is like Obama, Oprah, Justin Bieber. Yes, he is a rock star, out of reach. In fact, there he is at the top of our organizational chart, and I am down there, with all the other 269,751 bottom dwellers. How did I close the connection? Well, certainly not with a 12-step promotion. I heard he is a veteran Toastmaster. That's right, Wells Fargo CEO Johnstone belongs to our cult. God, I mean. He is one of us. But that's the only fact I learned from our website. As a proud, dedicated, and nosy Toastmaster, I wanted to know more. So I thought I'd send him an email. It would just be 3 little questions. It won't take too much of his time. I know he's got important work to do, like high finance, Congress, our Christmas bonuses. There, short and sweet, send it off. I had great expectations with that email. I figured I should hear back from his secretary within a week, or a month, or who knows. I guess I'll just wait. I better work while I wait. Wait, a new message in my inbox. But it's only been 17 minutes. It can't be. It's him, Johnstone! Let's see what it says. not an active Toastmaster but was for 17 years, never competed in a speech contest, and loves taking long walks along the beach. All the best, John. Not only did my CEO email me back, he signed it with a smiley face. Just for me. I printed a few copies. 269,700. No, I didn't. Stupid printers kept breaking down. I did forward the email to my coworkers. They were impressed. They were astounded. They suggested I frame a copy. I told them, don't be silly. It is just an email from Johnson! Who cares? Frame a copy, put it up in my cubicle? I'm not going to do that. I guess I did. My manager was amazed that I even dared to ask. I told him, what did I have to lose? It doesn't hurt to ask, right? Indeed. In this situation, asking didn't hurt, it paid off. But there would be situations, if you ask, it might hurt. Like at the riskiest place on earth, where things can quickly get out of control, where you are always at the mercy of others. A restaurant. You heard the stories. If you ask to send back your medium rare steak to get it just a little bit more medium, you might get just a little bit of spit back. That asking would definitely hurt later. But let's say you're not a demanding diner. You're easy. You don't order anything off the menu. You're nice, your waitress is nice, everyone's happy. Asking then should not hurt, right? What if, while happily enjoying your lovely, perfect, medium rare steak, you dribbled steak sauce all over yourself? You signal to your waitress across the room. As she makes her way over to you, your happy waitress gets a text from her boyfriend, dumping her. This is the worst day. Her manager tells her she has to work an extra shift that weekend. This is the worst week. Then she grabs the tip from her party of 16. They left her $3. This is the worst. This is worse than Justin Bieber. Finally, your waitress gets to your table and you ask her very nicely, extra napkins, please. Your now very unhappy waitress goes to get your napkins. Make me walk all the way over just for napkins? You want extra napkins? I'll give you extra napkins. Here you are, extra warm and toasty. It seems like it would hurt for anyone to ask for anything, anytime at a restaurant. Oh, but don't let the prospect of spit or other body fluid stop you. Go ahead, take a chance. Truly, it doesn't hurt to ask, right? And afterwards, enjoy the rewards. You may receive more than you expect and get a smiley face. You can join me now. John, stop! Or you may receive more than you expect and get diarrhea. Diarrhea.
Contest Chair, fellow Toastmasters and guests. It has literally been decades since I last received a job promotion. So from personal experience, I am no expert on career advancement. I have worked for my current employer for over 29 years. Correction, I have been there for over 29 years. And my job title is still the same as the day that I started. Now, I have a good job, and I work with great people, but it bothers me that I have never received a promotion from my current employer, or the employer before that. So I decided to do some research into methods and techniques for career advancement. I discovered that there's a high road to career advancement, but there's also a low road. John Benfield said it best. Eagles may soar, but weasels don't get sucked into jet engines. Some people misrepresent themselves to management, thinking that will somehow gain them an advantage toward a promotion. They stoop to such tactics as deception, trickery, and even fraud. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, there is a word commonly used in corporate America that is a synonym for deception, trickery, and fraud. And that word is marketing. Marketing produces cell phone contracts and credit card junk mail that fills up your mailbox. Marketing has about as much chance of producing a job promotion as one of those pieces of credit card junk mail. Others try to draw attention to themselves by uttering such overworked cliches like, "We need to think outside the box." Let's examine that statement. Who is the owner of the box? Who is the protector of the box? Is it not the very same people who have the power to give you a job promotion? When you slander the box, you are insulting the owners of the box and drawing negative attention to yourself. Remember the Japanese proverb, the nail that sticks up gets hammered down. I tried to climb the corporate ladder once, only to discover that it was leaned against the wrong wall. Since then, I have decided not to play politics in search of a promotion, but I often work with people who are playing that game. Their motto is, if at first you don't succeed, try management. There is, however, one method that I have observed to produce more job promotions than probably all other methods combined, and that is to become a yes man. Agree with management at every opportunity. Show that you are a team player. Pledge your loyalty to the owner of the box. I have seen this method refined to such a degree that it can be summarized in 3 simple sentences. Memorize these sentences and say them at the right times with feeling in your voice, and you are well on your way to a job promotion. I have observed these 3 sentences alone produce promotions all the way to the corporate vice presidential level. I've seen it happen more than once. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, this presentation has now become a career advancement training seminar. These 3 statements are: great idea, wish I would have thought of that, we should have done that a long time ago. Let's practice together. Great idea, wish I would have thought of that, we should have done that a long time ago. I think I heard some vice presidents in the audience. And several more are well on their way to a managerial promotion. But being a yes man is not as easy as it may seem. Being a yes man requires consistency and perseverance. Being a yes man frequently requires complete abandonment of all logic and common sense. Remember, a pat on the back is only about this far from a kick in the pants. The committed yes man will remember and apply these 3 sentences, no matter how dumb the idea from upper management. For example, and this really happened in my company, let's say that you're sitting in a meeting and you have just learned that upper management has decided to move the offices of the corporate trainers and training support personnel out of the training building to another building 10 miles away on the other side of town. Now you immediately think, this is one of the dumbest ideas I have ever heard. And then somebody in that meeting turns and asks you a question. What do you think of this idea? Every eye in the room is now looking at you. You swallow hard and say, great idea. Wish I would have thought of that. We should have done that a long time ago. As a yes man, don't worry that you are trading intellect and integrity for insanity. After all, career advancement requires sacrifice. But be encouraged that the notions of upper management tend to run in cycles. Someday, a few years later, you are very likely to be in another meeting when upper management announces that in order to improve efficiency, we have decided to move the offices of the corporate trainers and training support personnel back into the training center. Somebody in that meeting asks, what do you think of this idea? You smile and say, great idea. Wish I would have thought of that. We should have done that a long time ago. Madam Contest Chair.
Madam Contest Chair, fellow Toastmasters, honored dignitaries, and guests, I'd like to tell you a little story today. It was a beautiful Sunday morning. We were headed home after yet another fun-filled Toastmasters conference. It was in Ames, so the trip home to Sioux City would be a breeze. You see, we just drive north on 35, take a left on Highway 20, and run straight into Sioux City. What could go wrong? We get in the car, I'm driving, my father, co-pilot, falls asleep shortly after we get in the car. So my friend and I, as all good Toastmasters should, start discussing all the wonderful Toastmasters speeches that we heard that weekend. I see the sign for Highway 20. I signal. Get in the right lane. Set my cruise control. Now there's nothing to do but drive straight into Sioux City. So we continue chatting for the next 2 hours. That's when it happened. My co-pilot woke up from his nap, stretched, looks at me and says, "Why are we in Minnesota?" "Oh, Dad, you've been sleeping for 2 hours. You have no idea where we are." Well, he insisted that we stop at the next rest area, even though I knew right where we were at. I finally agreed I could use to get a stretch. Yeah. We head into the rest area. I go right for the restroom door. I am just about to grab it when I'm stopped dead in my tracks. I hear my father from the other side of the rest area ask the clerk, "What city are we in?" And somehow I hear the words, "Albert Lee, Minnesota." hosting my sister's baby shower that afternoon at my house. And those words was like a fog lifted from my eyes. I looked around and finally, for the first time, saw the great big map of Minnesota on the wall. And thought, over our last 2-hour trip, Highway 20 doesn't have rest areas. It's definitely not a 4-lane interstate with a 70-mile-an-hour speed limit like the road I've been driving on for the last 2 years, or 2 hours. There is absolutely no way I'm going to make it home in time for the baby shower. I've turned our 3-hour trip into a 6-hour trip. Now, have any of you ever been in this situation? Standing there in that rest area after you've done something really, really stupid, and now you have to call home and tell them about it. Well, in my household, this was definitely going to be fodder for jokes for years and years to come. But there was no way around it. With a baby shower and a 6-hour trip, I had to call home. I dial, and as the phone rings, the pit in my stomach gets bigger and bigger and bigger. I live with Sherry and her daughter Kylie, who's 10. Really hoping she answers the phone. Then maybe I won't have to explain the entire story. Good, it's Kylie. Hi, Kylie. Can you go tell Mommy that I'm in Minnesota? In the background, I hear, Mom, Shell told me to tell you she's in Minnesota. Then I hear it. The sound of Sherry marching to the phone. What are you doing in Minnesota? We have a shower in a couple hours. Well, I had to explain the entire situation to her. And after a few minutes of laughter, she finally agreed to help with the shower. Although I'm sure she's going to greet every single guest with the story of my trip home. Back in the car. An hour into our extended trip home, the phone rings. It's Kylie. Shell, Mom wants to know if you're in Canada yet. Ha ha, Kylie. No, we're not in Canada. But if we hit Mount Rushmore, I'm going to cry. Fortunately for us, the rest of the trip goes well. I did see the signs to make it home. The funniest part about the whole day for me was getting to the shower and finding out that my aunt had done the same thing driving home from Ames a few years before me. I guess I get my sense of direction from my mother's side of the family. Have any of you ever been so convinced that you were right, that your mind refused to see any of the signs that told you you were not? My trip home from Ames was full of signs telling me I was headed in the wrong direction. Life does the same thing. It gives us signs. But if we're too busy with the day-to-day tasks, we might miss those signs. I challenge you today to not get so wrapped up in those daily things that you do, to not notice those signs that life sends you to keep you headed in the right direction. Oh yeah, I have room for one more in my car if anyone needs a ride home.
Number 4, Jim Harris. Oh, the speeches you'll say. Oh, the speeches you'll say, Jim Harris.
Madam Contest Chair, fellow Toastmasters, honored dignitaries, welcome guests, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, chronological and spiritual. I am here to deliver a speech inspired by Dr. Seuss. Congratulations! Today is your day. You're off to Toastmasters to give a speech. You're off and away. You have prepared and practiced your speech with concentration and care. About some parts you said, I think that I need to insert a joke here. With your preparation completed by your final revision, you're ready to embark on your Toastmasters Club mission. You have plenty of brains in your head and only a few butterflies in your tummy. When you were introduced, you got applause from an audience that looks chummy. As you walked up to the lectern, you're ready to stand and deliver the speech that carefully you planned. Oh, the speeches you'll say! You'll be on your way up. You'll be writing speeches with great sounding sound bites. You'll join the distinguished Toastmasters who soar to high heights. With your great talking points, which you will effortlessly elucidate, your audiences will be amazed at how well you clearly communicate. Whenever you speak, you'll be the best of the best. Wherever you go, your Toastmasters experience will help you top all the rest. Except when you don't. Because sometimes you won't. I'm sorry to say so, but sadly it's true. And awful speeches can happen. Yes, Toastmasters, even to you. Some speeches present challenges that you weren't quite expecting. Challenges that gave you pause to stop. And then start reflecting. Speech contests especially can cause quite a chagrin. Do you dare to stay out? Do you dare to go in? How much could you lose? How much could you win? And if you go in, should you choose evaluation or humorous? Tall tales or table topics? Or perhaps even the International Speech Contest? Simple it's not, I'm afraid you will find, for a fine mind maker-upper to make up their mind. You can get so flummoxed by the speaking goal that you decided to chase, that you start running on for run-on sentences at a breaknecking pace, rambling on for minutes across a weird and wild speaking space, headed, I fear, toward a most useless place, the analysis paralysis place. Thinking, rethinking, rethinking about what your speech really should be about. Changing your mind so many times you're lost in a mind-numbing maze of self-doubt. Bobbing your noggin like a magic 8-ball, you've been banging your head up against the wall until it seems you've decided to convince yourself, I really had nothing to say after all. No, that's not for you. Somehow you'll escape all of that analysis paralysis, and hopefully without any of that costly psychoanalysis. Somehow you'll find a way out of that place so dismal and so dark, because when it comes to clear thinking, you're a bright little spark. All the speeches you'll say! There's fun to be done, and work too, that's for sure, but even working on a new speech seems like a game you have already won. Your wonderful way with words will make you the winningest winner of all. Among your family, friends, fellow Toastmasters and all, you will truly stand the tallest of the tall. Fame! You'll be as famous can be, with the whole World Wide Web watching you win on YouTube and Apple TV. Except when you don't. because sometimes you won't. I'm afraid that sometimes you'll play lonely games too. Games you can't win, because you'll play against you. All alone! Whether you like it or not, alone at that lectern is something you'll feel quite a lot. And when you're alone, there's a very good chance you'll be drawn into public speaking fears that can scare you so much you won't want to go on. But on you will go, though the counter is on the prowl. On you will go, though saying, "Zizzer dazzers does," make the grammarian cry, "Fool!" On you will go, though you could swear that you just heard your evaluator, "Howl!" On you will go, though those mean timers tell you it's been taking quite a while. On you will go, because you know that these jokes are only meant to make you smile. Every member of Toastmasters is here to support you to the very last mile. So no matter how far away your speaking goals look from afar, you'll overcome your speaking problems, whatever they are. All the speeches you'll say! Now just never forget to be dexterous and deft, and never mix up stage right with stage left. Proceed with great care and with great tact, always remembering that public speaking is a great balancing act. All the speeches you'll say, your audiences are waiting, so you had better get underway. Will you succeed? Yes, you will indeed. 98.75% guaranteed. Just remember these wise words spoken by those in the know when you join your local Toastmasters club, all the places you'll go.
"'Twas Christmas Eve, I was checking my list. I had to make sure there was no one I dissed. My children were on there, check, check, and check. Ex-in-laws? Don't think so. Oh, what the heck. My girlfriend, my sweetie, 'twas she whom I'd missed. With no gift for Christmas, she'd really be upset. Honored guests, fellow Toastmasters, Madam Contest Chair, have you ever overlooked key details and made your life harder? Pay attention to the little things, and the big things take care of themselves. Details, details. What do you get the woman who has everything? The thought churned in my mind as I went to the mall. The key to gift giving is know your recipient. I know my girlfriend. I know my girlfriend. I know my girlfriend? Suddenly, the host of people parted. My salvation was at hand. There was a kiosk filled with handbags from floor to ceiling. Handbags. My girlfriend loves handbags. I'll get her another handbag. The kiosk barker singled me out. I read, big man, you have no gift for your woman. May help you out. Full bag, a Benjamin. 4 bags. $100. I was clutch. This was in the bag. First, micro suede, stain resistant, made by Couch. Even I can't screw this up. Second, a fine houndstooth check by Praga. Must be imported from Czechoslovakia. Fancy that. A check, check. Finally, 2 little bags embroidered with DNKY. Dinky Dinky. The bags were so small they couldn't fit the I in Dinky. For this price, even I could afford to buy a vowel. I handed the barker $100. He replied, $400. It dawned on me that he hadn't been talking about faux, the number between 3 and 5, but faux isn't false, phony, fake. He smiled, shrugged, and pointed to a sign, off the shoulder, off the truck, it don't matter, you saved a buck. If these bags fooled me for 5 minutes, they wouldn't fool my girl for 5 seconds. Pay attention to the little things, and the big things take care of themselves. My girlfriend pays attention to the little things. Me, I'm still learning. Bad gift ideas surrounded me. A Honey Boo Boo Christmas? The Jersey Shore Guide to Etiquette. Forget about it. Condiment of the Month Club. 50 Shades of Grey Poupon. Those faux bags were looking pretty good. My salvation was at hand. Again? A storefront filled with handbags from floor to ceiling named Personality. A salesman greeted me. Welcome. What sort of purse are you pursuing? I began to perspire. Every woman has a persona at Personality. Well, of course every woman has a purse on her at Personality. He pursed his lips. Oh. No, don't be persnickety. Every woman has a unique identity. Share some personal details for perspective. I know my girlfriend. I know my girlfriend. I know my girlfriend? Sure, she's congenial, convincing, and committed. Oh, she's personable, persuasive, and perseverant. I should have known his name was Percy. Percy led me to a pedestal behind stanchions and velvet ropes. The color of a perfectly ripe persimmon, its elegant simplicity boggled my mind. Its high quality was obvious even to the likes of me. Pay attention to the little things, and the big things take care of themselves. It will personify your lady. Behold, the Oprah. I saw the price tag and realized I had champagne tastes on a Kool-Aid budget. With no gift for Christmas, I'd be persona non grata. I had credit. So what if Christmas came with a price tag? My lovely lady smile? Priceless. Swipe. It was hers. The big thing had taken care of itself. I was proud of myself for paying attention to the little things. The details. Details. Finally, Christmas Day arrived. This cat hadn't let anything out of the bag. Shaking with barely restrained enthusiasm, I handed her the gift. I know my girlfriend. Shrip, shrip, the wrapping paper came off the new bag. Her eyes grew wide and welled up with tears. She laughed gently at first, then gained momentum. She looked at me with a barely suppressed smile. Babe, would you hand me my purse? I want to put my things in this new one. Papa got a brand new bag. Have you ever overlooked key details and made your life harder? There I was, left holding the bag. You could say Christmas that year was a mixed bag. Well, a mixed up bag? All right, it was the same bag. I tried. I really tried, and my girlfriend knew that, so while I may have looked a bit foolish, she was impressed that I chose the right handbag for her. I know my girlfriend. But I kept the receipt. I I can't wait for her birthday. She loves shoes. Details, details. Madam Contest.
All right, super. In that case, let's go ahead and bring up all of our contestants for an interview. Mr. Laddick, come on up. All contestants, come on up. Doesn't matter what order. Come on. Keep them coming. Doesn't matter what order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, we got them all. All right. Go, Mark.
Oh, go Mark. And we're live. Jim, really enjoyed seeing you participate in the evaluation humorous speech. It says here you have a major accomplishment of being an award-winning blogger. Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure, it's a very boring story, but I blog in the information technology space. I'm a former IBM software engineer, so now I blog about what I need to do for my real job. So back in 2009, I was awarded by IBM for blogging on their behalf an iPad, which I found rather interesting considering the fact that Apple and IBM are not exactly the friendliest companies. But I enjoy my iPad a lot, but I have to admit I like IBM a lot better because they pay me.
Thank you. Thank you.
Club.
Oh, what club are you representing? I'm sorry.
I am proud to be representing Ankeny Toastmasters.
You know how they say this ain't my first rodeo? This is my first rodeo. I'll be kicking it Gangnam style later.
All right. Okay.
Or however they do it, I don't know.
Remember, all this is on film.
Right.
You want to pass one of your mics down, either one?
I've only got one.
Oh, one in your hand and one in your hand. All right. Vilma. Vilma, what club are you representing today?
Wells Fargo Stagecoach Speakers.
Woo!
8826. Yep.
All right. Now, do you belong to other clubs? You've got one club.
This is just my one club.
Excellent.
For now.
For now. All right. That's what I like to hear. Excellent. Vilma, it says that you have interests in cats. Yeah,
When I wrote it down in the biographical information, I couldn't think. I was doing evaluation with humors. I just put down cats. Because actually, I don't love cats. I hate them. That's right. But we have 2.5. We have an indoor-outdoor cat. He doesn't want to stay in. Big guy, love him. Well, no, I don't. Gotta feed him with, I learned how to cook an egg for him. That's how much I love him. He's a little it's my husband that loves them. And if it was up to me, I will not be the cat lady. He would be the cat guy.
Thank you, Vilma.
I was a little afraid to see where the story was going. Pop a cat.
Learn to cook. Yeah, not so much.
Tamara, and you are representing, I remember this time.
Quad City Advance.
Quad City Advance. Since your interests here are horse racing, and now you hanging out with Romneys now, or what's going on? Tell us a little bit. Oh yeah, I torqued off half the audience. Okay. Only 47. Oh, exactly. Nice.
Well, not with the Romneys, but I do enjoy horse racing. I enjoy the analytical portion of it. As a credit analyst is where I started my career. It's dang right. And I do like to play craps too, so if you ever want a lesson, Mr. Corey May. But I do like the statistical aspect of horse racing, and winning a little money doesn't hurt either.
Exactly. Good. Good. No, it's fantastic. Yeah, don't worry, we give Corey craps all the time. On that note, over to you, Ann.
Corey, what club are you representing today?
I am representing Crossroads Storytellers.
I believe you belong to one or two other clubs.
Yes, I'm sort of a club tramp.
Club flush.
Affirmationists, Affirmationists 1209, Crossroads Storytellers 1443, Quad Cities Advance. That's how I know the lovely Tamara. And Sunrise Marion for all those people who like to get up really early in the morning and do their thing at 7 a.m.
All right. It shows that one of your recent accomplishments, and I've seen this, is doing Facebook play-by-plays of football games.
Guilty as charged.
Play-by-plays.
My son is a senior in high school, and this is my first senior in high school. There will be 4 others later. But he played football for Iowa City West High, go Trojans, and every week that we would have a game, I would do play-by-play on Facebook. And let me tell you, my thumbs are huge. The opposable thumb, I can thumb wrestle anybody and win. As a matter of fact, I could probably cut sheet metal with pinking shears and have no problems. My thumbs are massive.
What big thumbs you have.
I didn't think you noticed. Quite a grip I have.
The funny thing is, Reginald, during the whole thing, was Facebooking your speech, so minute 3. Okay. Michelle.
Hi, Mark.
Always good to see you.
You too.
So it says your big accomplishment here is that you've earned your CFA. Is that cool American, or what does the CFA stand for?
It stands for Chartered Financial Analyst. I am an investment professional, and the easiest description I've come up with, it's like getting your CPA for investment people.
Yay! What, you just like numbers? What's the story?
Yes, I love numbers. I went to school for accounting, thinking that was more math related, and found out it was all theory. Didn't like accounting very much. So I stumbled into investments, and I really like that. It's a lot of fun, combo of numbers and getting to talk to people a lot.
Yeah, we'll pair you up with Tamara later.
Yeah.
So that works out well. Well, great. Thank you for competing. Oh, and your club, are you representing?
I am representing Ready Toastmasters Club 5295.
Ken, what club are you representing here today?
I'm representing Stanley Consultants, Toastmaster Club 9592.
All right. It shows you have interests in investing. So we've got a whole little money thing going, numbers, money, everything going on here. Tell us about your investing interests.
Well, I can tell you many mistakes that I've made. I would say the best advice I could give on investing is when you've made some money and you made a capital gain, sell at least part of it. Because I have ridden it all the way up and all the way down. More than once. But that's what I've learned. That's what I've learned.
Great idea.
I wish I'd
done that years ago.
We should have done that a long time ago.
Thank you. Kayoko.
Yes.
I love it. Your interests are, and I quote, cow.
Yes.
Now, could you tell us a little bit more about the interest in cow?
I am a mood doctor.
Mood doctor? It sounds like utter nonsense to me.
I'm interested only in cows.
Okay.
I don't care about cats. Sorry. And I'm sorry, I don't like horses. Because horses, they show, they are maybe, they are not so patient. When they have stomachache or the problem, don't show that they are patient, they tolerate, and they don't complain. Sometimes complain. So I like cows.
I learned so much about horses and cows in this discussion, more than I learned in all grade school. What club are you representing?
Town and College Club in Ames, number 875.
Well, thank you for debating. Thank you to all of our contestants for competing. It was a great contest, both evaluation and humorous. Wouldn't you say, Andy?
I would say, wouldn't you all say? Thank you really for coming up here, folks. We have certificates of participation. Our lovely paper wrangler, Missy Bourdreau, has your certificates for you. So you may exit down that way and she will hand them to you. Thank you so much, folks.
Gangnam Style.